Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast that costs $3,500 to listen to. I'm Matt, aka Matt Fun Dude, and who are you?
I'm James, aka James04E.
Now, James, do you understand what the reference is this week for the
Um,
cost?
I don't believe so. I don't think I know it directly.
I don't even think I actually made. I might not have even done it correctly, but I'm referencing the price for the Apple Vision Pro headset. Have you seen any news
Oh,
about this?
oh yes, I've seen a lot of news about it, like people driving with it and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Man, great times.
So let's get right into the video game podcast by not talking about video games, but it's related in a way.
Yeah,
So the
it's like AR, VR stuff.
yeah, so the Apple Vision Pro is something I had not followed at all or like had any thoughts about until I think it come out like 2 days ago or something, or just
No
did
clue.
everyone start talking about it? It must have just come out. Oh yeah, okay, available on February 2nd. So it literally just came out a little bit ago, and um I was unaware that they were working on this, and it is not, for people who are listening, it's not really a VR headset. It is um basically a headset you put on. It looks like ski goggles,
Yeah,
and it has a video pass through where you can see your environment in a video as a video. Now, why would you do that? It's because you can put funny screens and stuff in your
yeah,
environment, and I think it's really cool, but
yeah.
it's expensive.
It's like the stuff that Iron Man does in the Avengers movies, where he's like all on his computer,
Hmm.
and he's like
Jarvis.
widening the stuff by separating his hands and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
man.
We've done it. We're truly are living in. When that movie came out, 2008 or something. We're truly living
Yeah.
in Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't know. We've finally done it, but we've made it so that you look as stupid as humanly possible.
It is.
Good job,
So
everybody.
let's get into it a little bit. One, I didn't know this existed at all until a couple days ago because I was not following it.
Hmm.
I think it's really cool that a company as big as Apple is doing stuff in AR. I think AR is the future of cool things. I think everyone's gonna actually have some sort of AR in their daily life. I think you probably don't
Hmm.
want to buy this one though. It's like buying the first generation iPad. That thing is like a brick. Wait a couple, and then buy it. Don't be the
Yeah,
trendsetter on
you know,
this device.
it also makes me think a bit of the Elon Musk brain chip
Hmm.
and how
Like the Neuralink.
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it, but he announced that that the first person who had the Neuralink installed finished surgery and they're recovering. And everybody's making jokes about like, oh my god, this is like post apocalyptic video game like environmental storytelling.
I'm kind of here for it though, because like I'm kind of, after playing Cyberpunk, I'm like ready for some of the the cyber enhancements. Like I think just having eyes. Or I'm a little sketched out because we will probably get to this point not that far from now, and we're gonna start with these AR like wearables. Like right now, it
Hmm.
does look a little ridiculous. You have these giant ski goggles that you wear, and they have like footage of your eyes. So they like display on a screen on the outside to like show your eyes, but like it's very
Hmm.
low resolution, so it's
Oh
just very
god.
creepy. Um, have you seen this? The eyes that on the outside of the goggles,
No, I've
just
only seen like the
uncanny valley.
side POV of people just like looking stupid.
Look up
Like,
the
I don't know if I've
eyes.
seen like videos.
It's
All right, so
very uncanny valley.
Apple Vision eyes. Let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's
This
very
looks like something
strange.
Kojima would make.
Yeah, it
This
does
is
look
literally
like
just
that
Kojima.
OD game or whatever that's coming
Yeah,
out.
this is literally Kojima.
Not even a
Also,
game, like
so
interactive media
small
project.
tangent. Kojima's working on like 4 games right now. That's crazy.
Well, OD might not be a game. It might be some weird interactive thing that maybe it's not even interactive. It's just some weird media project. We don't
Yeah, I don't
know.
know. I feel like if it's not a game, I feel like it'd be like a virtual experience almost like like almost like a roller coaster, but like virtual.
I'm wondering if it has to do with a lot of the. I wonder if so they showed off a lot of the face tech. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's going to be something where those are the actors and they just wanted to show how expressive they are, or if it's going to be like scan your own face into the game and then do
That'll
something
probably
with
be
that.
part of the horror because it's a
Yeah,
horror game, isn't it? Or not a horror game,
I
but a
think
horror
so.
experience. Like that's the
Well,
idea. Yeah,
Jordan
I think that's
Peele
why.
is
Yeah, that's
working
why he's
on it,
working with
right?
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Um, so who knows? But honestly, you cannot pin down what it's going to be. It's a Kojima project. Who knows?
Yeah.
Until it's in your hands, you're not going to know what it is.
Yeah, it's a certified Kojima moment.
Anyway, back to the Apple funny glasses, right? So
Yes.
I really do think that this is the future of just having displays you can have anywhere, having a lot of heads up display, like a heads up display in real life. I think GPS, like when you're in a car, showing like where to go, like on a GPS, and like like scanning people. All right, here's some nightmare fuel. Let's rap about some like nightmare
Scanning people.
hellscape. Okay, nightmare hellscape Black Mirror stuff, but it would actually be convenient. When you see someone and you scan their face, and it's like, oh, that's Tom. You met Tom 12 days ago at this event, and he likes
Okay.
cats and stuff like that. So you
Okay,
never
but
have
that's
to do
actually
that.
sick because
It is sick, right?
forgetting somebody's name has to be one of the most like, oh man, like you know that picture of the ant with like the sack on it, like that he's carrying over his shoulder, like he's homeless.
No.
That's what it feels like. The viewers probably know it's a meme.
No, what's worse than forgetting someone's name? Calling them the wrong name confidently.
Oh yeah. That I'm like, even if I'm like 99% sure I know somebody's name, if I haven't known them for a while, I'm like scared to say their name until I hear
Oh,
somebody
I
else
have
say
that
it.
problem. 100%.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That's why we announce our names at the beginning and end of every podcast.
Yes,
Otherwise I would forget who I am and who you are.
yes.
And by the
I
end of the
very
podcast, I
frequently
do
forget
forget
my
who
name.
you are. But anyway, um, yeah, no, I would love that. That is a nightmare hellscape though, right? Because then it's like, okay, here's their whole criminal record, and here's their like, just like there could be some like, oh
Mm.
god aspects of that.
Yeah, and here's their social
Um,
credit score.
yeah, but it would be for people who don't who have a hard time remembering people's names and also feel bad about calling someone the wrong name. That would be sick.
Oh
You could also link
God,
up with their.
we're gonna get to a point where you can just look at somebody and know their credit score, like that thing they have like that app they have in China.
Hmm.
That's gonna be
Jane,
crazy.
I don't think it's gonna be credit score more as you're gonna look at someone and then see their link tree to their OnlyFans and their like Patreon
Their
account.
link tree.
You're gonna look at someone and they'll have their link tree. I do think it will be pretty sick though. Like there's elements of that where you could look at someone and then be like, yeah, here's my resume, blah blah blah. Like there's elements that are really cool about that.
Dude, imagine how hard you could roast somebody with that stuff though. Like you see, oh, they're a YouTuber. Oh, they only have 50 subscribers.
People are gonna
It's
have
like,
like
damn.
people are gonna have like pay to win gacha gate free to play MMO effects around them. Like they'll just
Oh
have
god.
like a after image and just glowing wings and stuff. It's gonna get really tacky
Yeah, I
for
know.
a
There'll be
while.
some people that you can just punch and coins will come out. Like it'll be crazy.
But all this sounds kind of sick. Like it's a bit of a nightmare hellscape, but like I'm kind of here for it. And I think we're gonna get the wearables. Like they've been trying. I think it's good that Apple is pushing for it. I think we're gonna get wearables, but eventually, like you said, we're gonna get some eye tech. We're gonna get some of those cyberpunk eye implants, and I would actually love that because then you could have like perfect vision, which would be sick. You could like zoom in and stuff.
Mm,
Now Black Mirror did do an episode about this where like people could record things, which would get again kind of gets into a nightmare hellscape where people could be like live streaming from their eyes or like recording from their eyes.
yeah. Yeah,
Um.
I think the inherent problem with every technological advancement we make is that humans are fucking both stupid and assholes.
Mhm.
It's like we'll always find a way to mess it up.
I think the cool aspects do outweigh the nightmare hellscape aspects though, like having perfect vision or if you can't see and just being able to like have vision, directly
Mm.
implanted into your
Yeah, you'll
brain or
have
something.
vision just in time to see some of the unholy memes people make,
Yeah.
and you'll wish you didn't have it anymore.
Can you imagine how awful it'll be to be a teacher in like 20
Oh
years
god.
where
There won't be
kids
teachers. They'll literally just implant all the information into your brain.
I don't
Like,
know
oh god,
about that.
there was some like cartoon or something that I saw a while like ages ago, where it's like kids would go to school and they would just have these like things like these things like go on their head and they just sit at their desks and it would like input all the information and they just be there for
Oh,
like an hour and go home.
that's in Cyberpunk. That's in the Cyberpunk anime. That is a
No,
thing
I don't
they
think it
do.
was that. This
Well,
is
they
from
do
when I
do
was
that
like
in that
young.
too.
Yeah,
I think there's
I just
another
don't remember
thing
what I'm
that
thinking
does
about.
that as well, but I think the Cyberpunk they literally do that in that.
Yeah,
Well, actually, they go into like they do like a brain dance or something, and then
yeah.
like he's using like a Samsung Galaxy like S8 or whatever, the one that blew up, and
Hmm.
everyone else is using like iPhone 10s or whatever. We're not even on 10
Yeah,
anymore. We're on what's the newest iPhone?
I don't know, man. I'm on like iPhone 8.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make the switch back to iPhone. To be honest, I'm tired of like not being able to. I'm like missing out on most of life's events by not being able to
Oh
FaceTime
god.
people. Pretty much.
Yeah, no, the craziest is when somebody asks you to play like iMessage games and you're like, I can't.
No, I think
I
FaceTime is way
cannot.
worse because it's like grandma wants to like share her birthday with you. It's like, sorry,
Oh
grandma,
no.
can you download the plugin? So I
Download
can.
the
It's like no.
plugin.
Um, yeah. So I'm gonna
Oh
just.
god.
I honestly don't do anything on my phone outside of like phone, so I could just get like a couple generations back iPhone, and just be happy with that. But yeah, I am excited about the opportunities with the AR stuff. I think you definitely don't want to be the first person. Like
Yeah.
you want to wait like a couple, even with the wearable. Like I don't. It is so funny. It's like such like a hype beast culture around this stupid headset, where I think it's really cool technology. I think it's really funny, like you said, where people are driving in their cars with the headset, or like just like in
Yeah.
public, just like flexing with their ridiculously priced headset. It's very silly.
Yeah. So I think something that I was thinking about that's kind of interesting is so about not being the first person. Other thing is we don't know the long term effects some of this stuff could have.
Oh,
Like what if
horrible
it,
for you for
like what
sure.
if the people who use the Apple Vision they just all have cancer 10 years from now?
Oh, I
That'd
mean,
be horrible.
we're screwed with phones and headphones and all that stuff too.
Yeah,
But
like
like a
yeah.
horrible, and eye strain and all that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
30 years from now, they're gonna look back at it and be like, damn, what were they doing on their phones all the time?
yeah, they're gonna look back with their bionic eyes, like I said, and then won't
Like
matter. They're like, oh, who needs
grandma and
vision?
grandpa are blind and they didn't have biotic eyes back then.
Yeah,
Why would they do
uh,
this?
they had their organic eyes. Um,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a niche feature that I'm sure will actually be included, where you could look at any wall and find like a level surface. So like if you're hanging a painting or like if you're hanging something on your wall, it'll just show you where it's level, so you don't have to use a level ever again.
I
Um,
I feel like that's so
it's have you ever
far
tried to
down the
level?
priority list.
It's so easy to implement though. Like that seems really
Oh
easy.
man.
Have you ever tried to level anything and realized how BS leveling is as a
Yeah.
concept in terms of
Yeah.
leveling like a flattening something? It is like so half-assed
And I don't
as
know.
a
I feel like it's a glitch that's gonna get fixed one day.
we do have
Give it a
like
couple
laser
patches.
levels and stuff. Yeah, when they patch Life 2, when Life
Yeah.
2, it's going to be like an Overwatch update, Life 2, just the graphics will get a little bit better,
Li-
but they'll make it
It's like
5v5.
it's life 2. You have to confirm that you want to move on to life 2 and then you
Yeah,
find out it's
Life
just a
2.
bunch of bugs.
Yeah, Life 2 is
It's like, damn.
5v5.
I wish I
Damn.
kept
Roll
life
queue.
1.
I got roll queue
Oh
for Life
man.
2.
What do you mean? So I select roll queue when I'm born and I don't get to change it. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Do you ever feel like you're living life as an like on Overwatch tank setting?
Yeah.
You ever feel like that? So
Yeah, most
sometimes
of the
you want to
time.
be support, but I'm just out here on tank
Yep.
when it's solo tank.
Yep.
Um Anyway, that was the Apple Funny headset. I think people are a little bit disappointed with it. I mean, it's really exciting technology and it's cool. I feel like it's a cool tech demo, but it's not there yet. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So James, what have you been up to this week? Let's get into our weeks a bit.
Yeah, it was kind of quiet week for me. So last week was my last week working at my old job. So now I'm
Mhm.
looking for a new one and I've been taking care of all my quality of life stuff. I ordered a new mouse pad. I mean, this is like quality of life for my setup, not necessarily like real life quality of life, but we'll get to that next. But yeah, like new mouse pad. I'm probably gonna get a new just Discord microphone because I've had the same one for 3 years. It's probably gonna be a cheap one, but it'll at least be new. I got one of those like gels that you use to clean your mouse, your not your mouse pad, your keyboard. Like, and you just
Wait,
slap it on the keyboard, and it just like everything just comes out.
is that from the Gamer Gunk video of back? Remember the Gamer Gunk video? Like,
Gamer gunk
there's
video.
a video about a guy who was selling these like cool cleaning products for gamers, where he was trying to be hip, and he was like, "It'll get all your gamer gunk and whatever out." Is it by the Gamer Gunk people?
Um,
You're looking up Gamer Gunk.
yeah, I'm looking up gamer gunk.
What is this product? Now I'm intrigued.
I'm
Gamer
not.
Gunk.
I don't know. The guy who I got the recommendation from is he's called Created Tech. I don't think
Um,
he.
sorry, it's but dust off, dirty gaming. What the hell?
Okay, yeah, it's definitely not
I
the
wish.
recommendation I got. Um, but yeah, I got stuff for cleaning my keyboard. Um, what else? I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. I just kind of cleaned my whole setup. But yeah, it's nice. My mouse pad isn't dirty anymore. All that stuff. All the stuff I was neglecting because I was working. And when I was finished with work, I was just too lazy. But yeah, besides that, haven't been didn't play too much new this week really. Um, what is interesting is that there's a new Apex season next Tuesday, and also I found out the Overwatch season is launching at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of goofy. Um, but yeah, the main thing with the new Apex season is that they're adding like a perk system. So it's like every time you level up your armor by doing like God, there's a million things you can do to level up your armor. Basically, anything you do in the game, like anything you touch in the game, will like give you points to level up your armor. It's like every time you level up, you get to choose from one of two perks. It's just yeah, perks good.
Just remixing the formula a bit,
Yeah,
keeping it new. I downloaded Apex. I have not played it yet. I was a little overwhelmed in terms of looking at the character screen and being like, "Oh, I have like 4 characters unlocked of the roster of like 20 characters or something."
yeah. Well, good news. At the start of the next season, each week you're gonna be able to do challenge. You're gonna have a character unlocked by default, and you can do challenges to keep them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of what else they're doing. I mean the change to like the perk system and stuff. They said that it's generally supposed to make the game more accessible. That should be nice. And then what else? They're doing like a limited time mode that's meant to be like a much faster paced version of the game, where like it like drops you in a specific location, it sections off the map and stuff, and it just drops you with like 5 other squads. I think it's just like yeah, this vibe. And apparently, when you die, you can queue into another game without leaving the game. It's like
Oh,
damn.
I guess that actually affect like common players in terms of like finding a match, or is that only like higher? Is there what is the matchmaking like in Apex?
Um, I mean, generally you find games fast enough. I think it usually takes like maybe 20 seconds or something. I'm not really sure. It's definitely
That
faster uh than like Overwatch or something on average, at least in my experience.
that feels like quality of life, but like that almost feels like unnecessary.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is, some people like watching the people who killed them or something, and it's like
Mhm.
if one person on your team is watching the people who killed you, or if they're looking at their deaths recap or something, and both the other people like leave and want to queue again, they can't queue again until they're out of the game. So you have to like leave the game and ready up.
I guess yeah. I don't know. I don't play battle royale games. I mean, I don't play that like general type of game, which I would consider like a battle royale, where like I was kind of thinking like, oh yeah, how would matchmaking and how does like is there a competitive mode?
Yeah, there's a ranked mode.
How does ranked work in? It does seem like
Um,
so. I mean, I guess you could be very good and like the RNG doesn't affect you as much.
so yeah,
I think my mindset is literally just like Fortnite when it came out is like the only experience. I'm like, oh yeah, BR, you just find random stuff.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny that you ask how ranked works because they change it like a lot.
Hmm.
Because BR ranked is hard. They can't say, "Oh, you won plus social credit. You lost minus social credit." Like they actually
It
need
is
to.
weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So how it works currently is every time you kill somebody, you get an additional amount of points. Um, but that doesn't come in until after the game's over, right? Like it'll calculate it after the game's over, and you cannot be positive on points. Like you don't aren't in a gaining game until you're top 10 out of 20, because that's like it's top 50% of the lobby technically in terms of other games. That's winning, right? Because top
Hmm.
50% means you just won the game because there's only one other team. Um, but yeah, so once you're top 10, you're technically neutral, and then like any bonuses from eliminations come into play. Um, and then as your placement goes up, you basically just get more points. And after the game, they account for other bonuses, like if the lobby you're in is like skill wise better than you, but you still did well, you'll get like a skill bonus. And if your current rank is below where your current skill is, like MMR wise, you'll get like a rating bonus to try to even them out. It's kind of complicated right now, and they're getting rid of most of the complicated stuff next season and going back to like an old system where it's literally just you get kills and you get placement. As your placement goes up, it's multiplied by your kills. So like if you place really well but don't get any kills, you won't get many points. But if you get a lot of kills and don't place too well, you won't get many points either. So you need like a balance. But yeah,
I you know
BR
what's
ranked
really
is complicated.
weird about this? This you're just explaining ranked systems. Just halfway through that, I'm just like, man, I think ranked systems like made games worse in terms. Like, I mean, there's definitely elements of it's cool, but then I was just
Hmm.
like, at least for people who don't care as much, I'm like, wow, yeah, that sounds like annoying, and then it made me want to play Team Fortress 2. So I may actually play a little Team Fortress 2 later because I was just thinking of like, man, it was fun to just kind of mess around. But I do understand it's nice having like I kind of use the battle pass as my like incentive to keep playing games, at least with Overwatch. I realized
Hmm.
recently that I ran out of battle. Like I got everything on the battle pass, and when I got everything on the battle pass, I stopped playing the game completely. And I'm like, I
Hmm.
guess I'll play again when the next battle pass comes out. Also, I'll mention it because you brought it up a little bit. Overwatch 2, the next season starting soon, and they're actually getting a lot of changes, and
Hmm.
they're changing a
Yeah, I've
lot of
heard.
like crazy stuff. I don't know enough about it right now to talk about it, so we'll probably end up talking about that maybe the next podcast.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I heard they were making rank changes that people like.
yeah, they're
So
changing the rank
good.
system a lot. They're doing a rank reset, so like they're
Hmm.
resetting everyone's rank.
Yeah, I
Um,
actually watched the trailer and it looked really funny the way that they portrayed that because it was like you said everybody was like diamond or something, and then the Reinhardt was a silver.
into the trash.
Oh man. And it was
Um,
like they were like hyping it up to like, oh my god, you give me silver. It's like oh,
whoa.
huh.
So I just saw a little bit of the trailer. Just it was like through a short because I haven't really delved into this. I
Hmm.
saw some of the new skins, and honestly, again, as someone who plays the battle pass, and it's kind of my incentive because it feels you're like, oh, I like playing matches, but I'm also like working toward getting these skins or whatever.
Hmm.
There's some really nice looking skins. It's like eldritch horror
Yeah, they look
themed.
really cool.
It's really funny that it's like a mythic Moira skin, but it looks sick. So I think it'll be exciting season.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to look at the Overwatch battle passes and look at the Apex ones because Overwatch ones have much stronger like theming.
Mm-hmm.
Apex ones, so how Apex does it usually is when you buy the battle pass initially, you get 4 skins. 3 of them are like epic tier skins, which are essentially just like it's kind of similar to Overwatch, where it's essentially just like textures on your character, as opposed to like a whole new like armor or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Like a
Uh,
recolor.
yeah. So you get 3 epic skins for your characters, and you get 1 legendary gun skin. And then at level 25 and 50, you get a legendary skin for a character. They're predetermined, but yeah, so there's like 2 legendary skins in the battle pass. Then at level 100, you get oh crap, what is it? You get a reactive skin for a gun, which is basically like every time you get a kill, it does like a little thing and it'll upgrade. Most of them are kind of poopy because they're very visually noisy, but some are
Mm.
cool. Some are pay to win. Oh god, there's a whole discussion around the pay to win skins in Apex or something else because like it's so obvious that they're pay to win, but they keep releasing skins with like the default model, and it's like wow, this is a really cool skin, but these iron sights are terrible.
What makes a skin pay to win?
Um, so basically, it's just that the iron sights on the gun are better. So like
Oh.
for example, the R99, it's like the fast firing SMG. The iron sights by default, they're like this big circle.
Hmm.
Uh, and then there's like these two things that just jut out of the gun on the side. It's really obstructive. It's especially problematic for like a close range gun. But the other ones, they're like the pay to win ones are usually just like two like small rectangles and a dot in the middle or something like that.
That's very silly.
Yeah, and it's like, man, that like and they're good skins too. It's not even that you're like putting on a bad skin because it's pay to win. Like they're good skins. They look really cool. They look like a lot cleaner than the default ones with the regular iron sights and stuff. But they'll just not release more skins using that iron sight. Yeah, I don't know. People get really upset about that. But anyway, back to the battle pass stuff. But yeah, the Apex battle passes don't usually have as much going on, I guess, as the Overwatch ones. Like they have less skins, theming isn't as strong, and you get a gun skin at the end instead of a character skin. And so they actually recently started doing like mythic character skins in Apex, but they're tied behind like events. And it's the whole like you have to buy the whole event to get the skin kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then for people that really like gambling, after the event, they're available if you buy them with heirloom shards, but you only get heirloom shards once in every 500 loot boxes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and loot boxes, I guess like for each loot box, it's like $1, so like it's $500 effectively.
That's really terrible.
Yeah, so it's a one after 500, you are guaranteed to get one. So technically, you can get it earlier, right? Because it's 1 in 500 chance for each one.
Yeah, but you won't.
For the gambling fans out there.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess what I think my main problem with it is you have no way of tracking how many packs you've opened.
I feel like it might be by design too. Just like, well, it could be
Yeah,
the next one.
yeah, I do think it's definitely by design. But like I'm just sitting here thinking like, damn, there's this like event where it's like it's a discount on 20 packs or something. I get 20 packs for the cost of like 10 packs. And it's like, I kind of want to buy this, but like if I buy this and I don't get an heirloom because I'm not as close as I think, I'm gonna be really sad.
Hmm. So you should buy twice as much, so you'll guaranteed get it.
Definitely, yes. The
Um,
gambler inside of me is speaking.
hey, at least my point of view from Overwatch 2 is honestly the battle pass has good value. It's $10, and if you complete it, you actually get a ton of skins and content.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the skins in the store are the probably some of the worst value in any
Oh
game
yeah.
in terms of one, they're reselling Overwatch 1 skins that were free for
Hmm.
$20, which is insane.
Yeah.
Plus skins costing $20 is because they're like, oh, it's a bundle. It's like we put a voice line and a spray and a PNG, like we put a model like of a donut from Blender in it. Look, it's a
Oh
bundle. Now
god.
it's $20. It's like,
Bundle
wow,
culture.
I'd pay $10 less if you got rid of the stuff that isn't the skin. Um, and I get they make money, to make money off of these skins, but they don't need to make that much money off of each skin. I think
Yeah.
$10 is the zone for skins. 20 is like ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm not
But
really
I'm
sure how
part of the
like
problem
the
because I bought
yeah.
some of them.
I'm not really sure how the money distribution works when like somebody buys a skin, but one thing I do like that Apex does is that when you buy the battle pass, you get like the of pretty much almost every like 10 levels or so, you get the premium currency, like 100 of
Hmm.
it, and the battle pass costs 950. So in theory, you could buy one battle pass and be able to buy every battle pass for the rest of time.
See, that's good. Like you should.
Yeah.
Overwatch does not do a system where you can recurringly get the battle pass.
Hmm.
But again, I do think, so how much does the Apex Battle Pass cost, price wise, if you bought it with real money?
$9.50, but there isn't a $9.50 option. So
Oh, of course.
you're basically buying the $10 option usually.
Yeah. So I mean, I think $10 for a battle pass is pretty fair.
Actually, also, can you buy battle pass levels
Depending
in
on content,
Overwatch?
you
Okay,
can.
yeah, okay, you can do the same in Apex.
Yeah. Um, Overwatch, at least I don't know if it's seasonal, but I played from this season and did the whole battle pass. And one, it was like a kind of a garbage season, in general, but also in
Hmm.
terms of the skins. Um, and I completed the whole battle pass, and I think I still had like, and I was like taking massive gaps in between playing, and
Hmm.
I think still had like 12 days to really like get it done. And honestly, I do think they actually give you a lot of time. I think it was like, it might have been like 3 months or something to do the whole thing or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that's, I still do think that it's really annoying that you can buy a battle pass, and if you don't finish it, you don't get the stuff. Um, I
Hmm.
don't think they should just give you the stuff. I think you should still be able to like work toward it, like Halo Infinite style, where you
Yeah.
can just go back and do it. I know why they don't do it, but I think it's really scummy, and people should. I think I don't know. I guess they probably have the science behind it, but I think people would feel a lot better about battle passes if they made it so that you could go back and finish them and like buy any of them. But they don't do that because obviously it's like FOMO, like, oh, I'm gonna miss out on getting this skin that'll never come back, or it will as a like shitty recolor like 10 years from now.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess one other Apex thing that's fun is so I don't know if you've heard of this. Respawn did, I might have talked about this, I can't remember. But Respawn basically did a like collaboration with Game Informer.
Hmm.
And the whole idea is like, they interviewed them about the new season. They went to like the Respawn headquarters in Vancouver, one of their like four headquarters, I think. And so normally it'd be like, oh, just getting a little bit of interview and all that stuff. But they actually included some like in one of the interviews, like the video interviews, they included some playtest gameplay. And apparently they weren't play testing the next season, which is season 20, but they were play testing season 21. And so what was really interesting is this is probably intentional, right? But in
Hmm.
the character select screen, you could see the next character. And then there was
Oh,
like some gameplay stuff where it's like, oh, you can be seen from the void, and it's like, well, no character does that. What is this new character? It was weird, but um, it was funny because I was sitting here like, damn, they're really getting people hyped up for the next season. And then it hit me like, wait, we're not getting a character or a map or a gun, Sag. And
for this current season.
normally, a new Apex season, they either do, well, there's a few things they can do. They can do new guns, they can do map updates, they can do a new map, or they can do a new character, or they can be like system changes. Uh, the system changes one is recent because last year they focused more on system changes than like new maps or characters. So normally what'll happen is in like November, like the November season, they'll do a new map. But I think it was like 2 years in a row, their player base dipped in November because that's when like new games come out and stuff. And they were like, "Huh, well we don't like that." So I guess they just didn't release a new map this year.
Oh,
It was a little odd. So apparently it's going to be coming in like the season after this season. But it's just like, damn. I look at all the system changes. I'm like, these are cool, but no map, no gun, no
no
legend.
play.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, so do what is the like the general consensus about Apex? Because I remember it's one of those games where it was like beloved, and now is it back to being kind of like the fan base is kind of turned on it a little bit in terms of like they're frustrated with the game.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, but
um,
like in general, like
so in general, how Apex works, I don't. How long are Overwatch seasons? Actually,
I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like it's a couple months. I also feel like it could be sporadic, or I don't really follow it that
yeah.
much.
So from what I understand, what lots of other games do is their seasons are like 2 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem Apex has right now is usually at the start of the season, everything's like fine. Like people love the game. Obviously there are bugs and stuff like that, and sometimes server issues that people get upset about. But generally speaking, right, people are happy with new seasons unless they're literally just underwhelming in some sense. Like, they don't it doesn't feel like a new season. Like, they don't change enough, which has happened a couple times in the last year just because of the nature of them focusing more on system stuff than new content. Um, but the problem with Apex seasons, like, mainly, is that they're a little too long. Usually, they're pretty much always at least 3 months.
Mhm.
Sometimes they go into 3.5. Like, this season was 100 days, and I think when people first saw that at the start of the season, they're like, "Yeah, these changes are cool. 100 days? What do you mean 100 days?" And it was, and like, what happens is usually around like the halfway point of the season where they do like their mid-season patch, which has been there's been a little less emphasis on that lately, for a lot of reasons. Main one is they changed the rank system. They used to
Mhm.
have like a mid-season soft reset where you would lose like effectively like a medal and a half. Uh, and for the people that grinded like top like Apex Predator, like top 500 stuff, they would obviously it would effectively take them down to the bottom of the rank and be at like masters, and then they go down a rank and a half from there. So it's kind of like everybody has to grind back up, and people can get on the leaderboard again.
Sounds so miserable.
The thing is, it was actually really fun because so I don't know if Overwatch has this, but in Apex at the start of a season, people will like grind really hard and try to be like the first Apex Predator or something like that, and then people would try to hold like rank one, and their streams would get really big off of it.
Mhm.
And so people would get really excited at like the start of the season and at the splits, because at splits they also change the maps usually, so like it does feel kind of fresh. Like Apex they do a 3 map rotation, for both ranked and for public matches, and ranked just changes every day. Public matches is like every 2 hours it changes.
So the in Overwatch, the problem with the old rank system was that people would log into ranked, do like a match, get to like their if they were like in the high ranks, they'd be like, "All right, I'm in the top 500, I'm ranked like 37." And then just never play on that account again because
Hmm.
pretty much every time you'll play a match, like you're going to lose more than it's better to just stay at whatever rank and not touch it and
Yeah,
then to grind it out because you're just going to go down and then they
yeah.
just play on the
So
alt.
yeah,
So,
so that's what's a little different about Apex's rank system is it naturally, for most people, it'll trend upwards. If you're just not necessarily if you're good, but like it's just the way that the numbers work, right? Because like it, lots of people can get to top 10 usually, so they'll generally be gaining. Like you almost always gain more than you lose. Like the entry cost for games is far lower than the maximum amount of rank points you can go up by like winning a game or something. And so for professional players who will rarely like die off drop or anything like that, their ranks pretty much constantly go up. Like the base rank for Apex Predator, like the rank points goes up by like some seasons would go up by like 5,000 a day, and the most you can get from a game is like, or what you can expect from a win is like 300.
hmm
So like they can't just sign off really of their like high rank account because they'll just lose the rank.
hmm
Um, and so that's also part of why the rank reset is important, like mid season, or not rank reset, but the soft rank reset.
the big ouchie down rank, play the
Yeah,
game, incentivizer, come back, play the game.
yeah, but as I was saying with the mid season patch, so they'll do their mid season patch, and then the game will kind of be quiet from there, which I think is the main problem people have. Like when you get to the last like 20, 30 days of the season, everybody's just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of getting sick of it.
This is gonna sound very boomery, but all the talk about the rank stuff and like the retention mechanics and all that just get me thinking. Like using Team Fortress 2 as an example, just like playing a game, like booting it up, being excited to play this game, just to like have
Hmm.
fun in it, which is like not. It's not that reasonable now to think like that. I think Fortnite probably does a pretty good job of this with their like fun Lego modes and whatever. People just actually excited to
Yeah.
play the game, not just grind it out. Some
Yeah.
people enjoy the grind, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I actually was thinking about this like today, where it's like lots of these games will either specifically try to target a competitive audience or try to target a casual audience, and usually the other one will always be pissed.
hmm
But I think what I kind of realized is that what lots of these games misunderstand is I don't think they actually understand what that what these audiences want overlaps a lot. Like, you want a fun game that's like hard to master, generally speaking. Like, I think that satisfies both audiences. Um, and the problem is that lots of studios view a competitive game as a game that's like inherently complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reality about lots of competitive games, like people play competitive Quake, and like, not that the game doesn't have depth, but the systems are pretty simple, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the depth comes from the players, not necessarily what's created by the devs. Like, it's the way that the systems interact with each other. It's like planting a tree and then it has a bunch of branches, right? Instead of trying to plant a bunch of trees. And so I think, like, if you think of it like that, and you just make stuff that's fun, um, that has like interesting interactions with the other systems, then you don't necessarily need to make everything super complex for it to be competitive.
Yeah, and I think I'll kind of like end it here a little bit, but I think with Overwatch 2, is my perspective, they're having a big problem with that of like
Hmm.
catering toward. I mean, they stopped catering toward any professional slash ranked players for a while, and they're just like,
Yeah.
all right, casual game. But the problem is the game by design is like a team based game, so it's not really casual. So they're trying to make it
Hmm.
more have more agency, the individual player, making it more casual and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
we got like a little bit of time left, so I don't really I didn't really do that much like gaming wise on my week. So
Hmm.
maybe we could take it into some questions. We haven't done like a good questions segment in a while.
That is true.
So if you have a question, you can email us at hyeppodcast@gmail.com. That's the
Hi at podcast.
yeah, hyep podcast at gmail.com. I'm always paranoid that I'm just saying the name wrong of the
Oh
email.
my god.
Because I probably am half the time, but I don't know. It's all good.
Hmm.
Maybe we should get some new questions soon too. Like, but
Maybe.
we have an exhaustive list of random questions. Would you like me to ask you a question, or would you like to ask the first question?
I guess I can ask the first one.
Hmm.
All right. So, what is your favorite video game weapon and why?
Oh, that's actually a pretty good question. Just delete it from the list too.
Yeah.
Uh, I really like when video games for melee weapons, I like it when a video game has a weird melee weapon, like a non-conventional melee weapon, such as like the crowbar from Half-Life 2. I would also
Hmm.
say like the gravity gun is probably one of the most fun, like weird like weapons in video games. In again from Half-Life 2. Um,
Hmm.
I think Bioshock also has the wrench melee weapon. I don't think they're really that special. I just like the idea of having a weapon that is like non-standard, or just having like a lead pipe, or it's cool to have something a little bit different,
Yeah.
than the average thing. That's kind of my take. What about you?
Hmm. Yeah. I definitely agree. I really like melee weapons in general. I've played with a lot of cool ones that escape my brain at the moment. But for me, I think lots of what I remember is like FPS. So some stuff that immediately comes to mind is like the super shotgun, specifically in Doom Eternal, because it had like the grapple on it. But another one I actually really liked that I just remembered is the EPG, or I believe it's the electric propelled grenade in Titanfall 2. And what was so cool about it? So it's just basically a grenade launcher that just fires like a straight like plasma grenade. And the idea is, it does AOE damage if it hits a wall, and it's like a pretty small and slow projectile. And if it direct hits somebody, it'll like insta explode them, and there's like gore and stuff because it was Titanfall and they were cool. But I think what made it so cool to me was the way it interacted with the other systems in the game. Like, it was a primary gun in Titanfall 2 that could do damage to Titans automatically. And since the game was a lot about like wall running and like doing crazy jumps in the air and all that stuff, it was actually pretty hard to not only direct hit people, but even to get like splash damage, because you'd have to catch them right as they're making contact with the wall to wall, like run or wall jump off of it. So I think it was like it made me think of the game very differently, which
Hmm.
I feel like you don't get as often in multiplayer games, especially like, single player games. You'll get that all the time because that's the intention, right? Because they intend for you to interact with with the programmed enemies in a different way. But the EPG in Titanfall 2 actually it made me interact with like real people differently, which I thought was really interesting.
I don't know why this reminded me. I think it was Saints Row 3 that had the dubstep gun, or was that Saints Row 4 that
Oh,
had the
oh
dubstep
yeah,
gun?
I know it was in Saints Row 4. I don't know if it was also in 3, but yeah, Saints Row has a lot of good ones. The dubstep gun,
Very
uh,
stupid.
yeah,
The phallic bat.
yes, the
Obviously, that was
phallic
part of
bat,
Saints Row 3's marketing.
yes,
There were some wild weapons in that series.
yeah, they did
I,
some
I
crazy stuff.
I think we definitely should talk about FromSoft Souls-like games for really cool weapons
Hmm.
feel and design. I
Moonlight
just looked.
Greatsword,
Oh yeah,
the
well,
classic.
that's kind of the most. I mean, it is classic and cool, but honestly, kind of one of the most boring designs. But like, I understand why, because they want to have it
I
fit
just like
across
projectile
multiple
slashes.
games. Yeah,
Projectile
but
slashes are
like,
fun.
I'm talking like I just saw an Elden Ring wiki thing, and it's making me want to replay the game. I didn't
Hmm.
realize. Maybe I even saw this when I played, but I didn't like like internalize it. But did you see the weapon that's just the finger from those big finger enemies as a weapon? It's just a finger.
I'm not sure if I
Do you know those
have.
big finger enemy, like the big hand enemies that shoot they're literally giant hands that like shoot magic at you with a ring?
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's just
The
one of
finger
those.
creepers.
Yeah, it's just one of their fingers, and the bone is the handle, and you hit people with it, and it has like a flick. It does like a finger flick special, like weapon art.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I want to 100% replay that entire game with the finger weapon.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, when I think of it back to like Dark Souls to Souls games, I think of like the whirligig saw in Bloodborne.
mhm,
The Leto's Great Hammer in Dark Souls 3 was really cool because it had
mhm.
like the weapon art was you did like the spinning attack where you like dragged it along the ground and just like went in a circle. And then after you did it, you would get like a bunch of rocks on your hammer. And then if you did a like a charged heavy attack, you would slam the rocks and they would like explode and do extra damage and like hit people with the shattered rocks and stuff.
I think part of the reason why those games are so replayable is it's just because every weapon feels so different, and like you can really see like you want to experience the entire game again with this new weapon, even if it has like a small move set of maybe like a couple moves. It just is really
Yeah.
fun to try, especially doing almost jokey builds, like trying to beat Dark Souls 2 with like the ladle
Hmm.
and just doing some stupid stuff. And there's like a lot, there's so much, and I think Bloodborne is a great example of probably some of the best. Like, not there was not that many weapons in Bloodborne, but they all were like dual weapons that would transform and have transform attacks and all that. I think those are some of the
Hmm.
best weapons in the Souls games, just because they were so like creative in terms of how the move sets worked and the combination mechanics and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I do also like Dark Souls 2, the Smelter Hammer, which is a giant like drumstick basically, and you spin around with it and
Hmm.
fling yourself at people, and you can like flying knee kick them. Some of the most just like stupid weapon move sets. So fun. Um, yeah, I think we got enough out of the weapon question, but yeah, for sure, those are so fun.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
what is all right? Actually, you know what? I will ask this. This is kind of a dumb question, but what do you think is the most underrated video game console? And maybe we could
Ooh.
change that question because, like, it's kind of a weird question,
Yeah.
right? Underrated video game console.
I don't know. I feel like most consoles are like appropriately rated,
I know, right?
and like I feel like when somebody asks that, they're like thinking like, oh, make some talk about something old, like some
I
old
think
console that nobody knew about or something.
I think you got to go like variations, like either like you know how there's like the PS3 Fat original, and then the
Oh God.
PS3 Fat, and then the PS3 Slim, like, and then
Oh
there's all these
God.
different variations. You know, I think you got to go
Yeah.
in that route maybe.
If we really want to be technical and maybe like not think about consoles but video game platforms,
Hmm.
um, based off of raw statistics, mobile is underrated because
Mobile,
it is
like,
yeah, mobile games because apparently they just make more money than any other game.
okay, well, yeah, they make more money, but they're like more accessible. Like everyone has a phone, you know,
Yeah.
except Diablo people for Diablo Immortal. But
Yeah, but it's like it's funny because there's like always it's just like a bit of a taboo for some devs that's like working on mobile games. And but then like you look at the people that work on mobile games and they're like they're making money. It's like damn,
yeah,
I
but the
want to make
problem with
money.
mobile games is like an actual good mobile game, like that is like a good game, is hard to come by, like because of just the control scheme. I understand they can make a lot of
Yeah,
money, but like some of those games are like very money driven.
yeah. I also think like there are some there are some like interesting mobile ports as well. Like I know like apparently PUBG Mobile is really popular and well liked.
Hmm.
Um, Fortnite is doing mobile stuff.
Hmm.
Apex tried to do mobile actually. It didn't go great, but like it's in a weird place right now. So they sunsetted it like almost exactly a year ago. But there's like a Chinese Apex clone that it's literally Apex that just used different models for the characters and different names and like lore and stuff. And it's just man, it's weird. I don't know if Respawn or EA are like actually involved. Well, so I know they kind of are because like they support the game, but they never like talk about it.
Hmm.
Like they never acknowledge that it's like yeah, this is basically just Apex Mobile in China.
Well, there are games like that, like because the China market. So, is it
Yeah.
officially? Is it Apex? Like, is it just like a bootleg thing? It's not actually the company at all. It's not their
I
version of
believe
it.
so. I mean, I can look it up.
Because there
Let
are
me see.
sometimes there's Chinese versions of games that get like localized for China.
Okay, so apparently it's called High Energy Heroes,
Okay, I like the
and it's
name.
just
Sound it's good name.
it's literally just rebranded Apex Mobile. So it's developed by Lightspeed Studios and published by Tencent.
Okay, yeah, big publisher.
I'm trying to see if this is like
Understatement,
how official this
massive
is.
massive company.
So apparently, what happened is they sunsetted Apex Mobile and they said like, hey guys, we're not doing Apex Mobile anymore. You can like you can kind of pick this stuff up." And so apparently they're just like, "Yeah, Apex Mobile China, we're gonna fix everything that Apex Mobile did wrong." And Respawn was just like, "Okay, yeah, good luck, guys." Just kind of walked away.
Well, I mean that's where the mobile market is, so they'll probably have
Hmm.
more success in a weird way.
Yeah, and also
Um,
Apex was banned in China for a while. Like it just got unbanned like last year, I think.
oh,
Um, and it was kind of funny because Chinese players, what they would do is when they wanted to enter Apex tournaments, they would like uh, I think they would use like a VPN or something and fake their nationality. Like they would say they're like Australian or something because it's like it's in like the same general region for like where they're actually playing. But then you'd have like an Australian guy with like a Chinese name, and it's just like it's and like you listen to their comms and they just don't they're speaking Chinese. It's so blatantly obvious, but
mhm.
it's just
They're from
hilarious.
Beijing, Australia, the
Yeah.
capital city of Australia. Um, anyway, back to the console part of the question. I think if we're going on weird remodels, I think the PSP Go was ahead of its time and kind of slept on. Do you remember what the PSP Go was?
Um, I remember the PSP and the PSP Vita,
Th-
but I don't remember
Well,
PSP Go.
there was the PSP Fat, which is the original model. Then there was like a 2000 model, which I
Oh
think
wait,
was
I remember
whatever.
now. Okay, okay.
Then the PSP 3000, which is probably one of the best handheld consoles of all time. It's just so great, especially because of the emulation and stuff. It was just felt great. And then the
Hmm.
PSP Go came out, and it was a digital only console. Back in the like early, like kind of back in the PS3 days, and the problem was, it was digital only, but they didn't have all the games available. Like, they had a fraction of the games available on the PSP's library on the digital store, so you could
Yeah,
not get like a lot of things.
yeah.
But it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing this. I remember I thought the design was really weird because my phone was like the exact same as this. Where it was like one of those phones that would like slide up and you could text on it.
It
This
was
was
kind of sick.
like
It
middle
was
school,
like,
but
yeah, you would slide the whole console up, screen up, and then you'd have the buttons underneath it. I still don't
so
really
did it
think
have a
it beats.
touchscreen?
No,
So then why would you not have this slid up then?
cause it was cool.
Like I guess like transportation and stuff, but the screen's still exposed. It's not
I
like
know.
protecting it. Like
It really is
but, but
protecting the buttons? Question mark.
yeah,
But
I don't know.
whatever.
I remember like the PSP 3000. Like it had a pouch just because they acknowledge like you can't really close it.
Well, the PSP 3000 was actually pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean Nintendo definitely wins with the clamshell design.
Yeah, I
For
mean, I don't know.
sure.
I think just looking at this, you can see why people didn't like it.
It made no sense. And again, at the time, like I had one by the way. And at the time, so I do have it still, and I was playing on it, and I dropped it one time, and it broke, and never worked
The
again, which is
classic.
crazy. Um, Never really have I ever had a product like besides I had a Dingu emulator, which also fell
Hmm.
once and broke. Never have I had a
Oh
product
man.
instantaneously break on me though.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate how like durable stuff is nowadays. Like I
Hmm.
drop my phone literally every single day, and there's not a single crack. And I've
well,
had this phone for almost 5 years now.
well, stuff can be durable back then too. Like the DS. Well, okay, the DS Lite
Okay,
was not durable because there
yeah,
was a
I dropped my
defect in
DS
it.
Lite once, and like the thing that where like the
The
hinge where it
hinge
would close,
connector
it would just shatter. Like it would just come off.
was it a white DS Lite?
I don't remember.
I
I
don't want to
remember that
spread
that happened with my
misinformation.
DSi as well. I think my DS Lite
Hmm.
might have been red. But yeah, that happened with my
But
DS Lite and my DSi, and I was just like, damn. And my parents bought me one replacement for my DS Lite and then gave up. And the DSi we never replaced. So when it
mhm.
broke, I just kind of gave up and I never played a DS again.
Oh wow.
It's a traumatic
Actually,
experience.
another kind of slept on console, the XL versions of the DSs. I have a what sucks though is there's so many stupid variants, especially in the 3DS era.
Hmm.
There I have a 3DS XL, not to be confused with a new 3DS XL. So I don't have the nub, but I have like I really like the new 3 or the regular 3DS XL. Apparently the best, the premier one that is like the coolest one is the 2DS XL
Hmm.
is like the cool is a cool one because it's kind of a unique looking console. But yeah, no, I the PSP. I think honestly the PSP Go kind of sucked, but it was cool. And it's a neat piece of history. It's kind of like the Game Boy Micro, where it's just kind of neat, um, but
Hmm.
didn't need to exist. All right. I think we got time for one more question.
Sure.
Would you like
Let
to
me try to
ask
find
the
one.
question?
Let's
Look at this.
see.
Look at the old big old list of things.
What is the most disappointing ending to a video game that you have ever experienced?
All right. I probably am just gonna list like common things from things I haven't even played. Um, you know what I mean? Well, I guess let me try to
Hmm.
think of my own personal experiences. What was I really disappointed by? Huh. Oh man. I kind of that's kind of a tough question. I don't. I feel like if I was disappointed, I probably forgot about the game entirely. All right, I have a very
Yeah.
hot take. All right. I have a very.
Okay.
This is actually like a genuine hot take.
Okay. Let's hear
So
it.
Persona 5
Hmm.
Royal. Now this is all right. I'm not gonna really spoil any of the ending stuff, but like light spoiler tag for Persona 5. I'm really not gonna try to spoil anything. Um, I think it's less of the ending of the game. I think it's the last like 20 hours of the game or something
Speechless.
like that, where I was like done with it. I play. This is Royal, by the way, so it's the extra content, and I did all of the extra content.
Hmm.
But it got to the point where I was like basically checking my watch, being like, "All right, I like this game, but I'm kind of over it." We're at like hour 110 or something, and
Hmm.
like the remaining 20, the last 20 hours of that game, I was so over it, and
Hmm.
then to the point where like I don't even care, like, and I don't even think that game really ends that strong anyway.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it sucks because the Persona games, the journey is always so much better. I think the endings in those games are always like kind of underwhelming and kind of disappointing. That's my
Hmm.
hot take. What about you?
All right, mine might be a bit of a hot take, but also like something that I've definitely changed my mind on this now, and it was almost entirely based in ignorance. But I thought the first Halo game I played was Halo 3,
Hmm.
And when I got to the ending, I thought that shit fucking sucked.
Is this the wait a minute? I don't know anything about Halo. Is this the we gotta finish the fight? Is that ending?
No, that's
That
Halo
notable
2.
notable bad ending that
Halo
people hate.
3 is the one where Master Chief just like goes to sleep and he's like, "Wake me when you need me." And
What
and
is
so
Halo doing?
and so the thing is, Halo 3 is, first of all, it's the shortest of the original Halo trilogy in like raw duration of the campaign. Second of all, lots of people were actually kind of disappointed with the game, so I wasn't like actually that far off. Like campaign wise, they were disappointed with the story. And third, holy shit, this ending was like a subject of drama with my Xbox friend group for like literally almost 10 years. Like everybody would debate like whether Master Chief was dead or not, and like I would just be sitting there like, I mean, he's not. You literally didn't. It's very clear that he's not dead.
He's got to finish the fight,
Yeah, people
even
would
though it's
like
not that
pull up
game.
like these like long ass video essays, and it's like, bro, what are you on about? Actually, no, it was definitely less than 10 years because they announced like Halo 4 in 2011 or 2012, maybe. But it was a few years. It felt like 10 years because it was like young brain Xbox 360 timeline. Um,
Neuron activated.
yeah, but so yeah, it was really funny because when I had first played Halo 3, it's literally the first mission. You know, you see like the Arbiter pull up and he's like working with Master Chief. And it's like it's literally the definition of hell yeah. Like I just looked at that and I was like, hell yeah. I don't know who these people are, but hell yeah. And then, and then in the final mission, we're like in like the Warthog driving around. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. This is so epic. I can't wait for more Master Chief and Arbiter adventures. And then they just get separated at the end, and like the Arbiter hasn't appeared in Halo since Halo 3, and it was like, damn. I just think back to how disappointed I was when I first saw that ending, man. Like I thought this
It,
was gonna be a long ass like buddy cop thing because one of my friends told me the campaign was like 14 hours, and I was like
hmm.
8 hours in.
I feel like that reminds me of just like the time when shooter campaigns were like people would actually buy the new shooter and play the campaign first, then like hop online. Like Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah.
like people would be like, "Oh, I'll play through that."
Well, I think
Um,
part of it was like it was this era where people realized like, wait, we can make these characters in our games like actual people
mhm.
and not just people. Okay, it's funny that I say that because it's like the Ramirez jokes with Modern Warfare 2, but like not just guys who yell at your objective at you and
I
like
mean,
die.
I think it made sense back then. I really do not. People got so up in arms about the new Call of Duty campaign and stuff. I really do not think. I think games like Call of Duty is like a multiplayer game. They can focus on that. Like they don't need to have the single player campaign is not a value add anymore. They
So
don't, and they don't care anyway. So,
yeah, what's actually really funny is I remember when Titanfall 1 came out and it was like a whole huge thing that didn't have a single player campaign, but they like integrated the story into multiplayer. And like a big part of the reason why that game flopped was it didn't have single player. And and then like if only it came out like a few years later when the trend was like starting to die down, they would have been fine.
well, think about it though. Titanfall, people love Titanfall 1 and 2 and probably would prefer this over Apex. But if Titanfall 1 2 did not fail, you probably would not be playing Apex. You know, if they were successful,
Yeah.
you'd probably just be getting a new Titanfall game.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, yeah, but also Titanfall fans are like the classic it's like the meme people make about like DC movie fans where it's like they're really loud on like social media and stuff, but when the movie comes out, they're the theater's empty.
They're not buying it.
They
Yeah.
are not there. like listen, I love Titanfall, but it failed for a reason. It does not, it has very diehard fans and very like loyal fans, but like the quantity of fans is not as high as I think people perceive it to be, and I think that's honestly part of why it's good that Apex succeeded because if not, Respawn might be in some hot water by now.
They might be making the next Suicide Squad game.
Respawn would definitely not be making good Star Wars games. That's for sure.
No. Well,
Like
anyway, I think we've gone over time. I think we should end the podcast here. I'm
mayhaps.
Matt, aka Matt Fun Dude. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch. I haven't streamed in like over a month or so. I have been meaning to. I've just not done it. But you can find me there at one day. And who are you? I forgot. Remember that part
Uh,
from earlier?
I'm James 04E. You can find me in your heart and your soul.
I'm not gonna end the. I'm just gonna keep rolling.
I'm in
Just
your
gonna have
walls.
we're just gonna have like 2 minutes of dead air at the end of the podcast. Don't worry, I'll edit all of this part out. If you're listening to this, I didn't edit it out, and this is totally unintentional. And
Broccoli.
comment broccoli in the YouTube comments, and I will give you a crisp thumbs up. All right, goodbye. I'm still rolling. That's the bit. It's not. I didn't actually end the
Haha.
podcast.
Ha. We got you.
Now we're never like the funny thing
I
is we're never even gonna end the podcast